Guys, Kempo back here again, and I haven't posted in a little bit because last week I didn't get a lot of time to watch The Rings of Power, so I'm still a little bit behind on that, and I didn't feel like making a review on something I'm a bit behind on. I did want to start the video by saying RIP James L. Jones because he was a huge part of my life. I'm a massive Star Wars fan, and he was the GOAT when it came to that voice, man. Like Darth Vader is probably one of the most iconic characters of all times, and it's because of James L. Jones's voice. He was the one who brought that character to life, and from everything I've seen about him as a person, he seemed like such a genuine man and a true artist to his craft, and he will be missed. I've seen so many people talking about him already. Yeah, he seemed like a really cool person, so RIP James L. Jones. Today I wanted to try to make a new video. I haven't done one of these in a while. A old new review. I've got Silver Surfer, the Epic Collection, Thanos Quest. This was recommended, I saw online from near mint condition, and by a bit of context, I've always loved Marvel and superheroes and DC and Dark Horse and all that, but I never knew I had the comic book shop nearby my house when I was younger, so it wasn't until I was older I actually found the comic book shop. So all my superhero geek fandom was all TV shows and movies growing up, and it wasn't until I was older when I found it. And I did a lot of my comic book research online, watching on YouTube with Comic Story and Comics Explained, and all those guys. So it's only been the last couple of years I've been on this journey down, buying all these comic books. So when I was researching, I've fallen in love the last few years, really delving deep into this world. And I've looked up a lot of essential reads, and Silver Surfer, Thanos Quest, and I've learnt over the space of the year, and other things, one of the things is that compared to the movies, Silver Surfer is one of the most iconic and important characters in the Marvel Universe. And Silver Surfer, Thanos Quest was one of the books you had to read to get a great understanding of both Thanos, his mindset, why he went after the gems, why he's so in love with Mistress Death, how powerful he really is. And you really learn about Silver Surfer, his growth as a person, to the guilt he feels for serving Galactus, to why he wants to protect life, to his development as building a conscience, to an understanding of how other life forms work, and other civilizations that might not agree with his philosophy. So this book, I honestly, even if you haven't seen much of the Marvel Universe or Silver Surfer, as a person coming from the outside in a way and coming in very hard, that sounds really bad, this is highly recommended. It's a pretty thick book. It only took me a week or two to read. It was like 400 and something pages, 469 really, and I read it slowly. I read like one issue a day, so it only took me a couple of weeks. But if you really want to smash it out, you could smash it out in less than a week, honestly. And there was a few standouts in these stories. All of them are really good, honestly. I don't think there was one story I didn't enjoy, but there was a couple that really stood out to me. There was so I love all the artworks. It's a 1980s artwork style, and this one thing I've also learned about comic books and everything I've really loved is how each decade had a different art style and a different way of telling a story, and it was fantastic how I love the 80s and 90s the most, and they had the most iconic to me, how they drew and how they wrote stories. It was like becoming a whole new venture. But this story in particular, I can't remember what, hold on, let me get back to start. I can't remember what it's called, but this one was pretty much how the Silver Surfer really had this prejudgment to this alien who committed genocide on this planet. And of course, coming from the outside, you're going to think, wow, like, this guy's a dick. Killing a bunch of these people, and these people were all peaceful, they didn't want to fight. But this guy came from an alien race where people fought all the time. And so Silver Surfer fights him, and he's judging him, and he's saying, "What? How could you do this?" And the guy's explaining, "Well, I come from an alien race where war is our culture." And he kills it, like, eventually he has to kill him. He kills him, and he later finds a ghost. Turns out to be his own subconscious in a way, and it's the alien. It's in the shape of that alien he had killed. And the alien's like, "How could you judge me when your body count is limitless compared to mine?" And the way the art is done, it's like, it's Silver Surfer. You see the realization in his face that the bodies around him aren't the other aliens' bodies. It's the bodies he's killed. Well, not directly, but through Galactus, and now serving him has caused all those trillions of lives to be absolutely butchered because of Galactus. And it's the realization in his face. It's the representation of the blood around Silver Surfer. I know it can be a little bit on the nose, but it's that 80s style. Like, I kind of like the cheesy on the nose, but the way it's drawn, it's like he's drowning in the blood of his own guilty conscience, of the bodies he has caused. And I was reading going, geez, these are kids' stories, and you're teaching kids about conscience and philosophy. I loved it. I thought this was fantastic. That story really stood out to me, and it really spoke true to what I've now learned, what the Silver Surfer character is about. And he's become one of my new favorite characters. It's fantastic. And all the Thanos quest issues in the collection are really good as well. How he collects Infinity Gems or Infinity Stones, because I come from the movies. Don't get me wrong, I love the movies. Fantastic. But watching how he does it in the books, I don't know, there's something about it, it's simpler, but he almost does it in more of it's way more smart. Like, some of these characters he fights, like this hulking giant, he knows he can't physically beat him, but he beats him by outsmarting him. And it's really good. And how he beats this other character called the Gardener, how he pulls a whole fast trick on him. A lot of it showing how, yes, Thanos is a very great fighter. He does show you that at times he fights. He's a master strategist, but he also shows how smart he is, and he shows his like afterwards why he's doing it for. He wants to be Death's equal, and I do love how the movies did change that. How it makes it more like, because you wouldn't be able to do it the way they built it up in the movies. They had to do it in a way they did it, like the balance of the universe, which is a great way to do it as well. But needless to say, I love the way the books, the comic issues did it. It's like how he outsmarted, how he's gone across the worlds. Artwork is honestly fantastic. And if you are a comic book reader, a new one who haven't read that, or even an old one who hasn't read that and has kind of put it on the back burner, I paid, I don't know, $60 for it, and $20 delivery, and that was fantastic. Honestly, I'm so glad I got it, and I'm going to continue off the massive list of nerd lists I've got to continue my quest to not catch up on all things comic books and all these storylines, but try to get all the most iconic ones. And like, I watch as much on YouTube, but this is I think the Thanos Quest Silver Surfer Epic Collection was a great series to read, and I couldn't highly recommend it enough. I would give it an 8.59 out of 10. I don't really give much high ratings. I never give a 10 out of 10 because nothing's ever perfect. But that's a fantastic story. Loved it. And I will get to a Rings of Power review soon, once I get a time to actually watch it, but I'm always at training or other things. But thank you as always, guys. Thanks for watching my review, and I'll catch you in the next one.